A lot of boxers don't do this. This is why Canelo's not fighting Benavidez. Why would Canelo fight Benavidez, who's relatively unknown, and Benavidez beats him and Benavidez becomes overnight a superstar? That's Canelo's letting Benavidez make a name off of him.
So you're saying that you're gonna make...
If it was up to me, like we keep on saying, we want to see Benavidez. Canelo, hell of a fighter, but my personal opinion, he's ducking Benavidez. You know, that's just my personal opinion, and I'm allowed to speak my mind. That's just what it is. We want to see Benavidez.
David Benavidez is not refraining from disclosing information. Following Canelo Alvarez's defeat to Terence Crawford, the undefeated super middleweight champion is increasing the intensity, asserting that Canelo is too apprehensive to confront him.
Why can you not give us Canelo Benavidez? Why? Canelo, why? I do not understand it. You're demanding $200 million? Like, come on, dude. Basically, Canelo doesn't want to give us the good fights. Imagine if Canelo and Benavidez gets made. That's the Super Bowl of boxing. Boxing is on the rise. Canelo, don't screw it up for us. I thought I would never say this, but Canelo's scared. Literally, I thought I would, as a fighter, I know fighters are not scared. But wow, we've been begging Canelo, please, Canelo, please.
Saul Canelo Alvarez had declined to engage in a battle with David Benavidez, as he was dissatisfied with his methods and was solely interested in the millions of dollars that would be awarded to him. Veteran trainer Ronnie Shields brazenly declared that Terence "Bub" Crawford would emerge victorious prior to the confrontation between Canelo and Crawford, and he continues to maintain this assertion. After the fight, Shields stated that he had always known that Crawford's agility and ability to transition from an orthodox to a southpaw stance would be too challenging for Canelo to handle. He substantiated this assertion by elaborating on how Bud's capacity to alter postures, attack or retreat, and manage the distance exposed Canelo's minor defensive deficiencies, and Bud presented opportunities to initiate action.
Crawford by unanimous decision. We got that. You know, I just thought Crawford was too fast for Canelo. Too many combinations. Canelo doesn't jab anymore. He looks for one shot now. You know, I mean, the end is there for Canelo. And I just think that Crawford was too fast for him. You know, especially in the southpaw position. We all know Canelo have problems with the southpaw. So, you know, and that's why I picked Crawford. I just thought Crawford could be too fast for him.
Ronnie Shields, a former professional boxing coach, commended Terence Crawford for his ability to execute a nearly flawless game plan, remain composed, time his attacks, and punish each error that Canelo made. Shields stated that it was an exceptional display of tactical execution and ring intelligence, as he had anticipated prior to the fight. Shields even suggested that Canelo should consider retirement after the match, as the number of high-level fights had obviously taken a toll on him. In contrast, Oscar de la Hoya offered an alternative viewpoint. He reiterated that the decision was entirely in Canelo's hands. Canelo should retire if he believes he has reached his limit. However, he must exercise caution when selecting his opponents. De la Hoya stated that he truly believed Crawford was extraordinary, and he discovered that Bud was exceptionally gifted in identifying styles and counterpunching. He found the experience to be truly overpowering, or returned to his leisurely mindset. De la Hoya subsequently stated that it served as a reminder of the reasons why Crawford is considered one of the most adaptable and intelligent combatants in the sport of boxing.
Crawford is older than Canelo, so we can't use the excuse that he's older, right? We can't use the excuse that, oh, well, you know, he moved around too much. Well, it's your job to figure him out, right? Just like Chavez would figure out a fighter, just like I would figure out a fighter, just like any real great fighter can figure styles out. That's your job. I think Crawford did a tremendous job. Kudos to him. Sky's the limit for Crawford, and I really don't know where Canelo goes.
Oscar de la Hoya, a former professional boxer and promoter of Mexican descent, did not cease his commentary on Canelo's subsequent actions. Following the historic victory, he also examined Terence Crawford's path Crawford's conviction is evident in De La Hoya's remarks, and it is this confidence that will propel him to greater challenges. De La Hoya observed that Crawford appears to be completely at ease and content at super middleweight, and there is no genuine reason for him to return to 154. Nevertheless, he may be inclined to reconsider his decision to return to 160 pounds in the event of a highly anticipated contest. Oscar believes that the most intriguing fight currently available is to confront the developing Virgil Ortiz, a fight that he believes will provide an entertaining, action-packed experience and intrigue that is commensurate with Crawford's current status.
About Virgil and Crawford at 160. Imagine that. Would be incredible. So there's a good possibility that Crawford will stay at 168. Most likely go down to 160. I don't think he's gonna touch 154. I think he'll stay at 160 eventually and try to find the biggest fights possible. And the biggest fight for him would be a Virgil Ortiz.
Terence Bud Crawford's performance in the September 13 main event against Canelo Alvarez was endorsed by Romero. Romero asserted that it requires a unique quality to deliver a defeat to Canelo, and Crawford achieved this. He observed that the initial rounds were intensely contested, with Canelo advancing and maintaining a close fight. Romero observed that Crawford was gradually assuming complete control of the fight, dictating the tempo, landing the clearer shots, and winning round after round as the fight progressed. Romero asserted that Bud's capacity to adapt on the move in order to defeat an elite opponent is a testament to the fact that he is now being considered one of the greatest boxers of all time. He described it as an amazingly accomplished mission, which is almost unimaginable.
Oh, Terence made me, that performance did something really special for me.
Yeah?
Yeah, and a lot more special than what probably anyone else is probably thinking, honestly. I didn't expect Crawford to be that big.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't expect Crawford to be that big, but Canelo did good the first few rounds, first like all the way up like to round 4, and then that's when Crawford took over, So I mean, the second half of the fight, though, it was all Crawford. There was no question about it.
Crawford is apprehensive about engaging in a battle with David Benavidez and shares Canelo's perspective. The Mexican boxer was defeated by the American boxer. Terence Crawford is apprehensive about engaging in a fight with David Benavidez and shares the same mindset as Saul Canelo Alvarez. The American boxer achieved his success by defeating his Mexican opponent, Saul Canelo Alvarez, and removing his titles. David Benavidez submits his demands to Canelo Alvarez in order to organize Mexico's ultimate boxing match. Following his loss to Terence Crawford, a former world champion has advised Canelo Alvarez to retire. Terence Crawford is apprehensive about engaging in a battle with David Benavidez and shares the same mindset as Saul Canelo Alvarez. The American boxer achieved his success by defeating his Mexican opponent, Saul Canelo Alvarez, and removing his titles. A variety of prominent Instagram accounts Terence Crawford Benavidez is a substantial individual. Nevertheless, I am not denying that I will engage in a physical altercation with him. Canelo's lack of size was the sole reason I encountered him, as Benavidez is approximately 1.80 meters tall. Additionally, his weight will range from 88 to 90 kilograms. Dan Rafael, a boxing journalist, also shared Romero's perspective, observing that the initial rounds of the fight between Canelo and Crawford were characterized by a vicious and thrilling back-and-forth exchange. However, as Rafael noted, Crawford had not only meticulously prepared for the fight, but he also executed the plan with complete precision and easily outperformed the larger, more experienced Canelo. Rafael was impressed by Crawford's methodical mindset and long game, describing both as superb. He also reminded the viewers of the numerous doubts that Bud faced prior to the bout, citing Canelo's size, power, and title fighting experience as advantages that were deemed unsurmountable. Crawford-Rafael's challenge was transformed into a reasonable outcome and, in fact, a victory, as a result of his focus, discipline, and commitment to training. Crawford became one of the most complete and determined champions in the sport of boxing as a result of these factors.
I thought he did a great job. I thought it was close. I had Canelo ahead in the early going, but I thought Crawford did an amazing job closing that fight down in the last few rounds, where he really started to back the supposed bigger guy up, although for me, they looked about the same size. But that was a brilliant performance, and what can you say? I mean, you got to give him his credit. He created a lot of history. He dreamt this fight. He willed it to happen. A lot of people, not me, but a lot of people laughed at him, said forget about it, no chance against a bigger guy like that. But he showed.
Then Rafael subsequently elaborated that while a Canelo-Crawford rematch will undoubtedly generate significant interest, it was not the most advantageous or prudent course of action for either fighter at this time. He recommended that both men explore alternative high-stakes opportunities that were more appropriate for their respective professions at the time. Rafael recommended that Canelo thoroughly evaluate the advantages and disadvantages of the fight and determine who to fight next, if anyone at all. In regards to Crawford, Rafael stated that this historic victory has elevated Bud's status to the extent that every single top contender will be calling him out. Nevertheless, Rafael persisted. Crawford must meticulously evaluate each potential option in light of the division in which they may compete, the size of the event, and the titles that may be at stake in the upcoming fight.
Canelo had won. The winner of Eubank and Ben, too, the Hamza Shiraz. I mean, those types of names. He's got mandatories. Mabili got the draw tonight in a great fight. There's other fighters that have belts and interim belts and blah, blah, blah. So, you know, nobody's going to rush Terence Crawford into his next fight. He'll take his time and, you know, whatever the next fight is, it's going to be a big one because, you know, his name is even greater now than what happened going into this fight for him. So he beats Canelo Alvarez, you know, it becomes a much bigger.
Louis Schofield, who had been unwavering in his belief that Canelo Alvarez would emerge victorious on September 13 following the fight, expressed his shock at Terence Crawford's complete dominance. Schofield asserted that he anticipated witnessing a Canelo performance that would be considered classic, but instead witnessed the Mexican fighter fall entirely short. Schofield expressed his uncertainty regarding Canelo's imminent retirement for the first time. In analyzing the fight with Crawford, he emphasized that Crawford surpassed Canelo in all aspects, including pace, timing, and unquestionably ring control. Crawford established a substantial lead and cruised to a dominant victory. He did express his desire for Canelo to continue his career and to regroup in order to make a successful comeback, allowing the boxing world to once again recognize him as the champion he once was.
Domination. I was hurt. I ain't gonna lie, because I've been a fan of Canelo since I was a kid. So my heart, a tear almost came on my eye. I ain't gonna lie, because it felt like, you know, that Canelo's done. But I just think he was a little off that night. I think he can, you know, make a big comeback. But to Crawford, man, he's the greatest of this era. You got to give it to him. Greatest of this era. Nobody's ever done that before. 3-time undisputed. So you got to take your hats off to Crawford. And I was just shocked that he was able to just dismantle Canelo like that, you know, even with the size difference. That just goes to show size.
Canelo Alvarez's record serves as a blueprint for a contemporary boxing legend, a career that is predicated on competing against the best. International pay-per-view stardom and 4-division world championships. He has exhibited the capacity to adapt to nearly every technique in front of him, as well as devastating counterpunching. From his teenage rise in Mexico to signature victories over consensus legends such as Miguel Cotto and Sergey Kovalev, he has become a global celebrity and one of the most marketable fighters in the sport as a result of his exceptional consistency in the elite divisions. In 2012, Shane Mosley, an ex-champion, shared the squared circle with a youthful Canelo. He described the experience as being in the presence of a combatant who was more experienced than he was. Mosley underscored Canelo's natural strength, precise timing, and patience. At that time, he could already discern the attributes of a future pound-for-pound champion in Mosley. Canelo's trajectory from phenomenon to one of boxing's most illustrious champions has been characterized by the serenity of a veteran, which was evident even at that time.
The young kid, I think he was 21, 22 years old, he had a lot of experience, I should say. He had a lot of boxing experience at his age.
40, 50 fights?
Huh?
He had 40 or 50 fights at that point, right?
40, 50 fights, but not just that. I'm talking about experience as far as knowledge about being the real, like, experience. You know,
Okay.
like veteran experience. Like he
Yes.
knew how to counter, he knew how to block and counter, do all these different things. So it wasn't like he was just an ordinary fighter. And I was like, and fighting him, I'm like, wow. He actually knows how to, like, you know, get away from stuff. He knows how to counter. He knows how to, like, you know, trick shots up. And so he knows how to do stuff.
Furthermore, Canelo's durability and championship character were on full display in 2 evenly matched bouts against Gennady Golovkin, which were 2 of his most significant accomplishments. In addition, he achieved the distinction of being the first undisputed super middleweight champion by defeating Caleb Plant and unifying all 4 main belts. In addition to obtaining titles, Canelo has consistently engaged in perilous challenges across various weight classes and has never shied away from high-stakes situations. His career is the quintessence of excellence and endurance. As he continues to engage in combat, it combines the fighting spirit that embodies the pride of boxing in Mexico with the exceptional technical abilities. These achievements have distinguished him as one of the most exceptional combatants of his generation. The fact that Crawford returned the belts to Canelo after his victory demonstrates the level of reverence he has garnered in the sport of boxing. David Benavidez has garnered a reputation as a formidable opponent among super middleweights, and his triumph over Anthony Darrell in 2019 was a pivotal moment in his career. Following his 9th-round knockout of the more experienced champion to reclaim the WBC title, Benavidez spoke with the composed assurance of a fighter who recognized his rightful place at the world's highest level. After effectively regaining the belt at the age of 22, he described the fight as a dream come true and emphasized the significance of the belt to him. Benavidez commended Darrell's unrelenting pressure and sharp combination punching for wearing him down, tightening the grasp and momentum of the fight with each round. He cited the victory as evidence of his discipline and development, evidence that his youth and power, in conjunction with his focus and discipline, rendered him the man to defeat at 168.
Great, man. Words can't explain how good I feel. I said I was gonna get in here. I was gonna win the belt again. Like I said, it was a hard fight. You know, my Darrell was trying to catch me all night. He was trying to counter me when I would step in. But you know, we were willing to take the chances, and he didn't catch me at all. It was a hard fight, but you know, my dreams come true. You know, second time fighting on pay-per-view. All my people out there came out to support. So man, it's an amazing feeling. I just can't wait to get back in there again and defend my title.
Following the thrilling confrontation between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford, boxing enthusiasts are avidly discussing potential future developments. Some supporters and analysts are advocating for a rematch, while others believe that Canelo and Crawford should pursue other challenges. Benavidez has publicly criticized Canelo following his fight. According to his perspective, it is impossible not to investigate the concept of youth versus an ancient legend, as it is perceived by many as both captivating and enjoyable. A multitude of voices have advocated for Canelo to contemplate retiring in order to safeguard his legacy following an extraordinary career. Crawford's victory merely expands the potential of his future endeavors. Would you prefer that he concentrate on the burgeoning talent Virgil Ortiz, attempt to become a middleweight, super middleweight champion by pursuing one of the seasoned champions, or by participating in another pound-for-pound colossal challenge? What are your opinions? Is it advisable for Canelo to retire or accept the challenge from Benavidez? Additionally, who should Bud confront next? Please inform us in the comment section below.